I played Jordan Maines in the Southpaw project. I worked close with Jake Gyllenhaal's character, Billy Hope. I'm a really good friend of him and a manager, promoter type at the same time. It's a position that you would take that allows you to combat and get closer to be a promoter while not actually wearing the promoter's hat, so there's no way that other promoters can say there's a torture interference by me talking to their fighters, and moving around where I can accumulate all of the fighters. It's was the smartest route utilized by Al Heyman. It's a relationship that when there's a fighter that's generating the interest, is bringing you a whole kennel of fighters, and you don't actually care to take anything or do anything to him. Like, he's the source of why all of these other opportunities are open up and coming your way. And there's a parallel to that in the relationship between Al Heyman and Floyd Mayweather. You know, and I was able to use real life scenarios because of how close I am in the sport, and I wouldn't even have been that close without the relationships with the top fighters that I have, you know. So it just gave me everything to draw from the character. And then when we spoke about this, me and Antoine, like, first we met and we talked about it, and it was like, yeah, like every part of it. Like, you know, like, and it's like, it's just really pinning down the performance, you know, because I knew I was so aware of the sport and the things that go on in it that there was nobody involved in this film that I hadn't already interacted with that was a part of the sport, like Lou DiBella has a cameo in it, Roy Jones, you know, even the cameramen that were original HBO cameramen that would shoot angles so it would be authentic and choose, you know, how to capture the rounds. Antoine, you'll forget that he's the director. He'll get in there and train with you. Like, he'll be doing the training with you. Like, it's so much that there was, like, put into it that, like, he really watched to make people feel like they're leaving with the emotional, the pace of the emotional beats in this film. It's all Antoine. He's a genius. I think for him to immerse himself in it as much as the acting talent has to develop the characters, it's even more exciting to see, you know, a director with that passion. Because they could leave it to the performance of the actor and just, you know, watch the monitor and say, yeah, it was cool, but could you make it feel a little more like this? You know, other than, you know, kind of being there when you're going through the process. Like, he was going to the gym, like, he didn't have to train like that. You know, but it made a camaraderie between him and Jake that allowed them to communicate on a different level. And then when they're on the day of, when we're shooting, there's points that Jake was training over 8 hours. They're not thinking about how long we've actually been filming. And action, and he's physically performing, and cut, and action. Yeah, there was breaks in between, but he's been physically training all day. And then tomorrow morning, get up and run because he's conscious of how good he looked as he started, and he doesn't want to lose that during the actual film project. So it was like, it was really intense, man. Like, I hope he receives his accolades connected to the discipline that he put into this actual project. Jake he's a whole nother animal. I told him if he can call me if he ever, you know, forgets who he is and he needs to talk to someone. I went to see, following actually working on the project, I went to see him premiere Nightcrawler. And it was such an extreme difference in the physical from who I was with on set to, you know, how he performed in that film, that I was like, it kind of took me a little bit, and I didn't say anything about it. And then I went to see him in Constellations on Broadway on opening night. He opened, and that's when I had to talk to him upstairs. I took him backstage. I went to talk to him, and I said, look, man, you can call me, you know. It's all right. You might need somebody that's just going to, you know, talk to you like who you are. Because when you see him on Broadway and he's there and he doesn't drop a line and he's there for an hour and a half and he's speaking with an accent and he's someone completely different from the two people you've experienced. It goes, yeah, you might need to call me just to say hi and remember and feel like you, Jake. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just, I'm sure he has other people he can call, but I offered. Boxing is the theme that will initially draw the crowd. You know, and the sport is worked often so many times, like in the Rockies franchise and other projects in the past, but it's about so much more that even the poster is exciting because it's, when I look at it, I see a love story. I don't see a boxing match.